And maybe it's a situation where, nah, I doubt anybody predicts this team, let's be honest. I could have probably shielded there and got to the Ice Beam, but I wanted to end this game in style. So saving that shield for the Raikou, not even going for the Shadow Ball here, going for the Wild Charge, hit him with a big bang 1 HP, more like 14 HP, but Raikou is a Galarian Stunfisk counter. Confirmed. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP. And if you're a returning subscriber like Brad, Dan, Paul, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're featuring possibly the spiciest team we have ever featured on this channel, and that is a team consisting of the Johto legendary beasts Raikou, Suicune, and Entei. This is an absolutely ridiculous team for the Ultra League Remix. If there was ever a league where this team would have some play, it's probably in the Ultra League Remix, where a lot of the Pokemon are banned. I definitely do not recommend using this team. This is definitely for the spice. We did manage to go 9-6 in 3 sets. However, I can say with confidence that if we were to do a larger sample size of battles, I would definitely lose a lot more battles than I would win running this team. If you were to go to PvPoke and check out how this team ranks overall, you will see that it receives a very poor grade. This is not a team that I would recommend once again. However, this is a team that I have wanted to try for a very long time. I really like all 3 of these Pokemon, and it is a little bit expensive because they are 3 legendary Pokemon, and as a result of that, it is going to cost 100,000 Stardust to unlock a second move for all 3 of these Pokemon, 2 of which are very important, Raikou and Suicune. Entei probably not as important to get that second move, but Overheat definitely does come clutch in some nuke situations. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below, and without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so I'm very excited to be able to bring these battles to you guys today. Triple legendary beast team from the Johto region. We have Raikou in the lead, Suicune operating as a safe switch, and Entei in the back. One of the problems with this team is that Raikou and Entei are going to share a lot of similar weaknesses. So right here is an example of one. Gliscor presents an issue immediately because the only option is Suicune to counter this. And you never want to safe switch into your only answer for an opponent's lead Pokemon, but we have no other choice here. Can't stay in with the Raikou, can't really sack the Entei, so I decided to just come in with the Suicune, see how this plays out. Opponent does a great job catching the Ice Beam there onto their Snorlax, but that gives us a huge energy lead here. So let the Body Slam go through. You're going to notice Suicune extremely bulky. This is a Pokemon I really enjoy using. Going for the Hydro Pump here, which does get the shield from the opponent. So I'm trying to build up to the Ice Beam right here. Notice I tried clicking it there. I know I'm going to survive the Body Slam. If this is not CMP time, I'm going to look to swap out into Raikou and preserve that Ice Beam for later, because we're going to need that to potentially beat the Gliscor when it comes back in. So here it comes, the opponent swaps out, gonna go for a Night Slash here, I believe, and we're gonna let that go through. Trying to get to the Shadow Ball, but they do get to another move. We should survive this if it's another Night Slash, which will allow us to get off this Shadow Ball, but I actually clicked the Wild Charge, which is definitely a mistake right here. Shadow Ball going to be doing a bit more damage, so unfortunate there, we do get farmed down. Now I'm hoping that we can get off this Ice Beam right here, but it's a CMP tie. That is absolutely brutal right here, because that forces us to burn our shield. If we were able to get off this Ice Beam before the Night Slash came through, we would either get the opponent's second shield and go up 2 shields to 0, or they'd let the Gliscor go down. So now we only have 1 shield left for Entei, which isn't optimal. I decide to shield this up to only a Night Slash. They get the attack boost, of course, which is not good, and I decide to go for the Flame Charge right here as a result. Now notice we are running, look at that, off the face. Gliscor not appreciating that. Snorlax comes in, and I was going to say that we are running Iron Head in this set because I felt the coverage type would be good, but I switched it to Overheat for the next battle. A lot better, I feel, on Entei. So going for the Flame Charge right here, we're super boosted. A Magnezone in the back. We're not able to get to the move. Can you believe if we managed to come back and win this game? I was very disappointed after that loss, but considering how difficult of a lead that was to make the game that close, I was impressed with this team in the first battle. So let's keep them rolling. We got a Mew here in the second matchup. It's a pretty neutral matchup in general here, and usually I don't like to throw right away in case they do something like this, trying to catch a Wild Charge onto the Stunfisk. I'm not having any of that. Throwing the Shadow Ball and swapping out into Suicune. I like throwing the Shadow Ball here just to make this a much more dominant matchup for Suicune. Of course, if you land the Hydro Pump, it's going to be dominant either way. Could definitely tank at least 2 Earthquakes. So I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump right here. Let's see if the opponent's going to shield this up. Hydro Pump coming through. They do decide to shield that. So at this point here, this should only be a Rock Slide. I'm going to let this go through. But if they're going to go for only Rock Slides from here on, I actually won't be able to get to the Hydro Pump. So I decided to just throw the Ice Beam right here. And then this should be CMP tie if they're going for Rock Slide, which it is. I'm going to let this go down, take the 2 shield advantage, and come in with Entei. I'm going to look to farm this down, use 1 shield, of course, on Stunfisk here, and then just completely farm down with the Fire Spin. Hope to have a bunch of energy ready to go for whatever is left in the back. We're at the Overheat. The Mew comes back in, going for the Overheat damage right here. Bang! There it is. Mew catching the work. Our attack does fall, but I'm going to shield up the Surf right here. And the opponent swaps out into an Alolan Ninetales. So we're going to go for the Overheat again. Of course, could have swapped out here, but I want to get the damage off, even with the lowered attack. Heavy damage right there. Swap out into the Raikou here. We could definitely survive a Weather Ball, and we should be able to farm this thing down with Volt Switch, which should get us to the Shadow Ball. And you know what that means. Mew about to catch that 1 HP. Bang! There it is. Mew doesn't want the smoke. Gets knocked out. Let's hop into the next battle. First win with this team. I was over the moon to have even won 1 battle with this team right here. So another horrible lead. You're not going to see too many good leads with Raikou in this meta. But of course, there are some Politoed Jellicent. So it's decent in the lead. Actually, it's actually a lot better than I expected. But look at this, we don't throw again, and once again, they try catching the Wild Charge onto the Stunfisk. So I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball right here, swap out into the Suicune, and once again, we're in a position where I feel like we had a bad lead, but now the game's kind of swung into our favor here. So I let the Earthquake go through. I'm going to build up to the Hydro Pump. Honestly, it seems like they never shield up this move. So going for the Hydro Pump right here. Bang! There it is. Stunfisk catching the work. Scrafty comes in. Scrafty is a bit of an issue for this team, and the problem with having Suicune here with so much health is that Snarl does no damage, so you're only really applying pressure from the charge moves right here, and I actually decide to go for Ice Beam instead, which we do get a shield from. That's very nice, and that actually allows us to get to a second Ice Beam here. So I think going for the 2 Ice Beams worked out better than the 1 Hydro Pump in this situation. I'm going to come in with the Raikou right here. Going to call the Power Up Punch bait right here, which we do. And now, unfortunately, we can't get to the Wild Charge, but I know if we shield up this one, we're guaranteed to get to the Wild Charge. So I figured it was a fair enough trade-off here. Going for the Wild Charge, they're going to be forced to shield or let the Raikou go down. They decide to shield. I swap out into the Entei. And not the best situation, because look at how much damage those counters are doing right here. So I'm going to shield this up. It's another Power Up Punch bait. You hate to see it. Have to throw this Flame Charge right here because we cannot afford to take any more damage right here. And we know that it is an Alolan Ninetales in the back. So all we need to do here is get to the Flame Charge. They pretty much need a Dazzling Gleam to take us out from this range. So Weather Ball comes through. That's not going to do the trick. Going for the Flame Charge, and Entei showing its worth. If you get it locked into these Pokemon that are weak to fire, absolute monster. Taking out the Ninetales right there. We are off to a 2-1 start with this team. Let's hop into the next battle, and this is the battle that was featured in the preview video yesterday on the YouTube Shorts. Raikou into Mandibuzz. You love to see it. A positive lead right here for Raikou. I noticed the opponent's staying in, right? So what does that tell you? Possibly weak to Raikou in the back, right? Could be weak to Electric. So building up to 2 Wild Charges here. They're staying in. I was expecting a potential switch, but they're staying in. So when they're staying in like this and when they're shielding, I figure yes, this is confirming that they are double weak to Electric. So Dark Pulse comes through. Gonna build up to the Wild Charge right here and throw this. They are going to shield. So at this point here, I'm looking to get the CMP, but notice, because they threw before I got to the Wild Charge, I know it's not going to be CMP. So if I throw this move, very likely they swap out, right? And that is what they do. So I hold onto that energy, bring in the Suicune right here, and it's a Nidoqueen. This is a great matchup for Suicune. They're going to throw the Earth Power. Love to see it. Going to go for the Hydro Pump, and this basically does 99% damage to the Nidoqueen. One shot coming through. Bang! There it is. Nidoqueen catching the work. Mandibuzz comes back in. It also doesn't like to see Suicune right here. So this Ice Beam is going to come through. Not enough to take out the Mandibuzz though, but they're forced to dump their energy. So at this point, going to come in with Entei. Look to get an energy lead. The Politoed comes in. Actually, I said it before, it's Politoed. I know it's a Politoed. We make the switch here. Wild Charge needs the KO. Bang! There it is. Politoed catching the work. That was a very risky switch right there, because if the Mud Shot transferred onto the Raikou, we would have lost that game. So you have about a 1 second opportunity there, like a 1 second window to make that switch, and fortunately for us it worked out. So Raikou into Galvantula, another horrible lead, and here I try to sneak in the extra move. So now they're at the lunge. Instead of clicking on my charge move, I try to sneak in another fast move, which we're able to do. Finding that volt switch is huge. So now we're ahead by 1 volt switch, right? So I build up to 2 wild charges. Gonna throw the first one right here. This is going to lower our defense. Does not get the shield, but we're able to throw the second one while denying their fast move as well. That is huge for us. So wild charge coming through, gets the shield, and now our defense is super low, and they try to commit to the farm down. Unfortunately for them, that means we're going to throw another wild charge right here, so they need to burn their final shield. We take a 2 shield advantage out of a very bad matchup there for Raikou, and now we come in with the Entei. They're always throwing lunge here, so I'm no shielding this, calling the bait, and they swap out into Machamp. Now, pretty bad matchup here, but because we have 2 shields, I'm going to shield up once and go for the overkill here with the overheat. So here comes Machamp, about to catch this fire. Is it going to be enough to KO? Bang! There it is, Machamp going down. Stunfisk in the back. Here comes the Suicune. We still have a shield. Don't need to shield this, but I definitely want to get off this Hydro Pump before they're able to swap out. So here comes the Hydro Pump. This is going to be doing a lot of damage to the Stunfisk right here. Look at that. That is absolutely massive. And even if they throw an Earthquake, it's not going to KO. No point to waste a shield right here. Earthquake comes through, able to get off this Ice Beam. This is going to be enough to take out the Stunfisk right here. Galvantula comes back in, does farm us down. We come in with the Entei, able to sneak in 1 Fire Spin right there. Probably going to be a lunge, of course, but that's okay. Needs to get off 1 more Fire Spin, able to do it. We take that game, and we end up going 4-1 in our first set with the Johto Legendary Beast. Could not have asked for a better start. Definitely wasn't expecting a result like this, especially on the first set, but we will happily take it. Alright, so that first part of the video was a 4-1 set. This second part of the video is going to be, I believe, 7 battles from our next 2 sets. I went, I think, 5-5 in these next 2 sets, so we're going to be featuring some losses and some wins right here. First matchup, very difficult lead in the form of Giratina Origin. Once again, we see a similar problem to the first battle in this video. We don't have a good answer for this aside from the Suicune. So they threw a little bit early there, didn't have the shield because it's only an Omnis Win. Go for the Shadow Ball, gets the shield. I think in that situation, I could have definitely baited with the Wild Charge because they're almost forced to shield. Could have preserved a bit more energy on the Raikou and then swapped down to the Suicune. But they're actually staying in here, which caught me a little bit off guard. So we do get to this Ice Beam right here. And this is going to force a second shield, which it does. So now they're down 2 shields, so it's going as good as we could have probably asked for considering how weak we are to this Pokemon. They go for another bait right there, and they swap out into Ninetales. We can't get to the Hydro Pump there. If that was Powder Snow, we definitely would have. But at least we get to come in here with Entei, farm this thing down completely. But getting off that Hydro Pump definitely would have helped. So the Ninetales going to throw a move right here, going for the Side Shot. I actually decided to shield it up. It's not necessary to shield, especially if I'm going to throw here. I definitely shouldn't have shield, but I decided to undercharge, and of course, undercharging in that situation, not going to do anything for us anyways. Still goes down. Omnis when we call another bait. So this matchup right here, I feel, is like the perfect example of a game that you play perfectly. You make all the right calls, you do everything right, and you just lose because your team is so bad. Look at this. We have 2 shields, or 1 shield now. We make all the right bait calls, and it's Nidoqueen in the back. We have no answer at all for this. Entei coming back in, and we're going to take the loss right here. So I feel like we played that game just about as good as we possibly could. Very difficult lead, of course. Made some great calls, and we just end up losing the game because the team, that's a team loss, right? Like the team comp loss. You really can't do anything. So it's going to happen in GVL, especially when you're on a team like this. So this is how the team probably performs most of the time. Kingdra into Raikou right here. Not the worst matchup here. Gonna build up to 2 wild charges. A little bit of lag. You hate to see it. Going for the wild charge here. And I assume that Kingdra will throw an Octazooka at some point. Probably going to be right here, but we have to shield because we did lower our defense. So Octazooka comes through, and of course, they're going to get the attack drop. So going for the wild charge here. And then I'm probably going to look to swap out. Yeah, swap out into Suicune. That's in large part because of the attack drop right there. And they're actually staying in here. Probably going to be an outrage, but I'm going to tank this. See how much damage it does. Quite a bit. And they come in with an Alolan Ninetales. So it is running Charm. I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump here. It's going to be doing heavy damage. And you can see it does over 50% right there. So that's still a nice chunk. And we're going to get to this Ice Beam. If we're lucky, we get a shield from the Ninetales, but I highly doubt it. Especially if they're counting out. They let that go through. They farm us down. We're going to come in with the Entei here. At this point, I don't expect to shield anything right here. Yeah, we're going to let this go through. It is a side shock, but we take that very comfortably. And the opponent is going to come in with a Galarian Stunfisk. So because of the energy lead we have actually, we're going to shield this. I believe you can actually win this going back-to-back Flame Charge, and they need to shield the second Flame Charge. So they need to let the first one go through. And I was thinking, because they need to let the first one go through, why not just go for the overheat right here? Bang! There it is. Stunfisk catching the work. Kingdra coming back in. We're going to throw the Flame Charge right here, get the shield, then swap out into the Raikou, build up to the Wild Charge, and finish this game with the combo play. We got more combos. May as well call this channel McDonald's right here, because that was a big win right there, taking that game. Let's hop into the next battle. We are leading Raikou into one of the worst leads you could see. I mean, there's a lot of bad leads you could see. Actually, this probably isn't even one of the worst, because Suicune does good here. Entei has some play, so it's definitely better than like Nidoqueen or Giratina. But look at this spice right here on the other side. Virizion on the opponent's team. You love to see. If there's one channel on all of YouTube, Pokemon Go PvP, that loves this Pokemon, it is this channel right here. Featured a lot. Look at it tank that Leaf Blade. Suicune is legit. That is a stab Leaf Blade doing less than an Ice Beam coming from Suicune on the Virizion. So Virizion, Virizion apparently is the correct name for it. Doesn't matter. We go down there coming with Entei. I'm hoping to farm down here completely. Wasn't expecting anything to hurt close combat. It's actually a Stone Edge. I can't believe this opponent's actually running Stone Edge here. You have to love the spice. And they get to the Leaf Blade here, which we're forced to shield at this point. So this game is absolutely over. Lugia comes in. I'm going to throw this overheat. But the Entei is way too low. We swap into the Raikou. And there's nothing at all we could do here against the Stunfisk. Even if we had 2 shields versus 0, we're losing this. So I let it go through there. Obviously, I'm not going to shield anything at this point. The game is over. Don't want to prolong it. Just let it go down, take that loss. And things are not looking too good right now for this team in the second half of this video. But there are still some more wins to come. Don't worry about it. They're going to come. We got Raikou into a Gengar right here. A decent lead unless the Gengar wants to burn 2 shields. So going to go for the Wild Charge right here. And then look to swap out into Suicune. Yes, that is what we do right here. So Suicune comes in. Suicune, super tanky, so don't have to use any shields right here. They go for the Shadow Punch as well. You love to see it. But you don't really love to see that. Scrafty is a bit of a core breaker for this team. So gonna tank first move. They're going for the Power Punch. That's one of the problems with a Pokemon like Suicune. Because it applies no fast move pressure, they are free to just power up punch as much as they want to take us out. So gonna go for the Ice Beam right here. Really hoping we could get a shield, which we do not, but it forces them to throw energy. Probably gonna go for another pup right here, which they do, and then I swap out into the Raikou right here, hoping to farm down. If this is a foul play, I have to shield it up. They've done so many power punches. Another freaking pup, and they come in with the Gengar. Now, I know this is CMP tie, should be a Shadow Punch, so I decided to let it go through. Huge for us. Gonna go for this Wild Charge right here. And the Gengar is going to get taken out. So Giratina comes in, and once again, another example of us playing the game pretty well, but just nothing you could do. Entei in the back has absolutely 0 play here against the Giratina. So another game that's just going to be a loss. At this point, calling the bait there, it really doesn't do anything. Overheat's going to do nice damage, but it's not going to be enough, and they actually shield that as well. So this game's over, but they actually swap out into Scrafty, and that could have given me a win con if I just had like 1 or 2 HP more on the Suicune, because we could have potentially got to the Ice Beam. I don't know if the Ice Beam would have been enough to KO the Giratina there though, so probably would have lost that game anyways, but got pretty close there. We were in a situation where it looked like we had no chance coming back, and we had a little bit of hope towards the end, but still end up losing another game right there. Raikou into the Politoed right here. Great lead, but Raikou could still lose this if the Politoed lands an Earthquake. So Ninetales comes in, gonna bank a little bit more energy on the Raikou and then swap out into the Entei. So not gonna shield anything in this matchup here. They do go for the Dazzling, that's totally fine. Probably throw a Flame Charge at some point. Maybe even look to undercharge a little bit. No, just going for the full damage right here. And that means Politoed's gonna come in, and thankfully for us, they throw immediately. So this takes us out. No extra farm there, which you love to see. I'm gonna come back in with the Raikou here. So I'm gonna look to build up to 2 wild charges before throwing here. And ideally, I'd like to get off both of these before they throw the Weather Ball. And look at that, they actually didn't click the move. So we win the CMP on the second wild charge. That gets both shields, and now it is CMP. I tried to swap out into Suicune to prevent having to use this shield, but now I'm gonna swap out into Suicune instead. And this Politoed is choosing to stand. So at this point, I figure they're probably gonna go for an Earthquake here. Gonna happily let it go through. It's actually a return. So Purified Politoed right there, running the return. Not sure if return performs better than Blizzard and Earthquake in general, but it is spicy. So gonna go for the Ice Beam here. Don't want to get by another return. Ice Beam should be enough to take out the Politoed right here. Yes, it is. Stunfisk in the back, and this game is basically over because we still have a shield. Able to outpace it to the Hydro Pump as well. So this is doing heavy damage right here. Hydro Pump coming through. Stunfisk gonna take us out with the Earthquake right here. Actually goes for Rock Slide, which I think is the wrong play right here, because now we get a little bit more chip damage. I could have probably shielded there and got to the Ice Beam, but I wanted to end this game in style. So saving that shield for the Raikou. Not even going for the Shadow Ball here. Going for the Wild Charge. Hit him with a big bang, 1 HP. More like 14 HP, but Raikou is a Galarian Stunfisk counter. Confirmed, taking it out with the Wild Charge right there. You love to see it. Raikou into Galvantula. We saw this match already once before in the video, and I like to not throw when we get to the move right here. Click on this screen, try to get another Volt Switch. There it is. We are now ahead on energy. So Lunge comes through. It's going to lower our attack, but we're ahead on energy. So I'm going to get to the Wild Charge here, and now we're back to back. Gonna try and throw this second one before they actually get to their move. No, actually I built up for the Shadow Ball. Not entirely sure about this play right here. I mean, okay, they shield it up, which is nice. And actually, because we didn't lower our defense, believe it or not, that allows us to get to the Wild Charge, and they're forced to swap out. They could have lost that matchup in the 0 versus 2 shields, believe it or not, which is absolutely insane. But we come into Suicune here, and we have 2 shield advantage. Now, the Galvantula is absolutely loaded on energy, so we have to keep that in the back of our minds. Going for the Hydro Pump right here should be enough to put it in farm down range. I believe we can farm down before it gets to the move. Yes, we can. That is huge. Gonna go for the Ice Beam right here, but if the Galvantula decides to throw the move instead, I'm not going to shield this because we have Entei in the back. I'm just gonna save both shields for the Entei right here. Look to farm it down completely. Maybe use 1 shield here because it could potentially be a discharge, which would do a pretty decent amount of damage. They swap out into Politoed, and look at this, another game where we literally did everything right. The mistake in this game, I guess, was throwing the Wild Charge onto the Mewtwo, but I mean, you can't really control that. Like, it was just a great catch by the opponent, and maybe it's a situation where, I highly doubt anybody predicts this team, let's be honest. There's no way you can predict this team seeing just a Raikou lead, but I felt my only play here was to throw the Flame Charge and then land the Overheat, and we're not going to get to that. You may be asking why I didn't swap into the Raikou to catch the move. Well, the reason is because even if I did swap out and then landed the Overheat, I needed the attack boost from the Flame Charge plus the Overheat to KO there. So pretty tough matchup, pretty tough spot, but let's hop into the next battle. This is actually the last battle of the video. We got Raikou into a Kingdra here, so not the worst lead you could see. Going to build up to the 1.75 wild charges. Throw the first one right here, gonna get the shield. No shield, okay. And I look to swap out, but they actually get this move off. So I'm gonna shield this up and look to farm down. But of course, they get the attack drop again. So I have to swap out here, or else we would have went down with all that energy. We actually are able to snipe the Kingdra, which is very nice. They bring in a Nidoqueen into Suicune here. So I'm very happy to see this, of course, because I do not want this Nidoqueen on the Entei in the back, and they're going for Poison Fang here, so I figured they have to shield this. Hydro Pump KOs, they have a shield advantage. There's no point not to shield this. And they know shield it, so I should have just went for the Hydro Pump apparently. But it's okay, because if this is a poison thing, we're going to survive. Going to get off this Ice Beam once again, and it is only a poison thing, so now I'm expecting the shield. But if they let this go through, I'm very, very happy, and they do. So I swap out into Entei, and it's a Froslass in the back. You want to talk about the XL Spice right here. And if there's one Pokemon you want to see in the back right now, it is a Froslass. But huge shout out to this trainer for running this Spice. Flame Charge gets the shield, and at this point we have a Wild Charge ready on the Raikou. So instead of actually committing to the farm now, I just go for the Flame Charge here. I let the first move go through because I know Shadow Ball is not going to KO, so it doesn't matter which one you shield here. And I throw the Flame Charge here instead of committing to the farm now, because if I get the second shield, Raikou should be able to, no matter what, take game. The opponent knows that. Shout out to them, huge Spice, but we take the win. So those were the battles featuring the triple legendary beasts from the Johto region, Raikou, Suicune, and Entei. Really hope you guys enjoyed these battles. Very difficult team to use, but also a lot of fun. Fortunately for us, we were able to pick up some pretty big wins and go positive overall over these 3 sets with a 9-6 record. Now, over a larger sample size, I definitely would expect to lose a lot more games than I would win with this team, but for the sake of this video, I hope you found these battles entertaining. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.